All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. SDA Williams here. This is our theme song for LxP Show Australia. We are here because you are unique and we want you to be extraordinary. You know what? As I always say, there's greatness planted inside you. I'm here because you know I love you, and I believe that that thing inside you need to grow up to be beautifully. Because today we have KOW, who is gonna tell us more about himself, and he's one of the youngest, and so like I admire him so much to the extent that I can't even wait to have him here, because this young and brilliant guy is one of the intelligent people that Ghana we can have, and not just Ghana. I'm hoping he's gonna grow up to be somebody greater in the world, like replace Kofi Annan or something like that. He's that intelligent. He's that smart person. He's that open-minded person. He's that outspoken person. And so these are the people that we need on LxP. So if you have anyone you want us to get in touch with, just let us know and recommend the person to us so we can bring you live on LxP Show Australia. I always tell you there's greatness planted inside you. Do you believe it? The only sin that you can commit against humanity is committing against yourself, not believing that you are in this world for a purpose. None of us is here by chance. That's what you need to know. Your parents may think they were not ready, but if you're not meant to be here, you wouldn't be. You know how many sperm cells that your dad released? It's about trillions. It's uncountable. If you want to find out what I'm trying to let you know is that you go to the beach, get yourself some sand, and start counting them if you can count the sand. That's how the sperm cell was. But out of that, you got out of it. You got out of it. Oh, we got a call here now. Let's just give him approval and see how it. So that's what I'm trying to let you know, that you are in this world not just by chance. You are here for a particular reason, and the whole world knows. That's why if a new child is born, look at how the joy is. They know you are coming here with something unique. But when you start growing up, they don't want you to be that unique. Hello, Mr.
Hello, Mr. Hello, Mr. William.
How are you? It's been a
How are
long
you? It's been a
time.
long day. Yes, it's been a tiring day for me as well.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. So now
All
I'll
right.
give
So
you the
now I'll give
title.
you the title.
Just tell us who you
Just tell
are.
us who you
And
are.
take it from there.
And take it from there. Okay. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to reach out to your audience. This is a very, I know it's early where you are in the morning, so it's a good morning to all the people in Australia and all the people that are watching Mr. Williams um, and follow your show. So a little bit about myself. My name is KOW ESSUMAN. Um, I'm Ghanaian, fully Ghanaian. I was born in Ghana, had my education in Ghana up until till secondary school when I went to England to continue my studies. So in England, I studied law. I went straight into law. I did my LLB I qualified. No, I had my LLB. So in England, the legal profession is split into two. So after the LLB, you got to either choose whether you want to become a barrister or a solicitor. But I chose to be a barrister, so I took the necessary process, which includes joining an Inn of Court. In England, there are 4 Inns of Court. There's Lincoln's Inn, there's Inner Temple, there's Middle Temple, and there's Gray's Inn. I joined Lincoln's Inn. It's the biggest inn. It has a lot of people from the Commonwealth, and there's usually this saying that Lincoln is for the gentleman, and I think I wanted to be a gentleman, so I joined Lincoln's Inn. And then I went to BBP Law School. I did my bar vocational course there. I passed it successfully and got called to the bar in England and Wales. From there, I went to New York. I went to Cornell University, one of the Ivy League schools, and to do my master's in law. And after Cornell, I took the New York bar exam, which I passed on a first attempt. And I worked a little bit in New York, and then I went back to London, worked a little bit for about a year or so. And I decided to come to Ghana, and I came to Ghana, worked in a firm called Randolph Chambers, and then took the Ghana bar, and then joined Binti Angel, Lechan and Kuma, which is one of the big law firms in Ghana. And I worked there in the litigation dispute resolution department under East Ankuma. I worked with him for close to 6-7 years, I think. And, I rose through the ranks to become senior associate. And when the president won, the election in 2016, he asked me to come and work in his office as his legal counsel, as his legal advisor. And I accepted the opportunity to do so. And that's what I've been doing to date. So I work in the office of the president. I advise the president on legal matters that come into the office of the president. I help draft bills, draft instruments, legal instruments, constitutional instruments, advise them on constitutional matters, on the exercise of the executive authority, and all of that. So that's essentially who KOW ESSUMAN. That's like a walk through my background. I'm Christian. I love the Lord. I love Jesus. I'm a strong advocate for Jesus and the gospel. I think that everybody deserves to hear the good news because it's liberating, it frees the mind, it frees people, it gives you power, it allows you to achieve your purpose and so on and so forth. It's a wonderful message, and I believe that everyone should hear it. I love football. I'm an ardent supporter of Arsenal, and I know we're not doing too well, but trust me, we're going to end up in the top 4. Yeah. So that's about me. I'm married and I have a son, and that's essentially my background.
All right. So thank you so much. Roughly, you said just like your age may be different from your age. Roughly,
how am I? I get that reaction a lot. In fact, when I was moving to Ghana, I applied to a number of firms, and one of the firms that I applied to, later when I met the managing partner, they didn't get back to me. And I met the managing partner, I was having a conversation with him, and I asked him, why didn't you get back to me? And he said to me that, I had dinner with him, and he said to me that, when we got your CV, And we looked at your CV, we thought you were about 43 years old. And I said, really? Because in addition to all the work that I've done, I'd also done a little bit of lecturing and teaching here and there, both in the UK and also in Ghana. So they thought I was 43. And because of that, they couldn't peg how much they wanted to pay me and all of that. So but I'm 33 years old. I was born in 1985.
Wow.
Wow.
You've done all this in
the company. By the grace of God, man.
All right. All right. So now, today I want to talk about awakening the giants within ourselves. So what are we awakening? What giants inside us?
Okay, so first of all, we all need to know that we've all been born with a purpose. We all have a purpose that we have to fulfill on this earth before we depart this earth. In Jeremiah, the Lord said to Jeremiah that before he was formed in his mother's womb, he knew who he was. He knew the task he assigned Jeremiah to do. So it presupposes that even before you are conceived in the belly of your mother, the Lord already has set for you his purpose that he wants you to achieve, on this earth. And purpose is so critical. And for me, I think that discovering or awakening the giant, the topic we're talking about, is so linked to the purpose, because you can only awaken the giant if you know what your purpose is, and if you know who you are, like what your identity is. So I would say that it's very critical to identify what your purpose is. The Bible tells us in Acts that when David served his generation. He served his purpose in his generation, and after that he fell asleep. So it means that we all have to serve our purpose. We've got to identify what our purpose is. I mean, that for me is very critical in awakening the giants within, because you can only, giant signifies, something big, something grand, So if you're going to identify whatever is in you that the Lord has put into you, that which may be a gift, maybe a talent, whatever it is, that you would awaken and stir up to run and go forth or define who you are, to define your legacy. And it's important that you identify your purpose. Now, why or how do you identify your purpose? Who you are is already in you. You need the Holy Spirit to bring out what is already in you. When God created you, you don't get your purpose from outside of you. It's already in you. Your body, your spirit, your soul is designed with with your purpose in it. So it's kind of like your purpose is woven into your very nature. So you find that there are certain things that come to you so easily. Things like that should prompt you to know that, okay, for instance, if you write very well, maybe your purpose would be to write 1,000 books, or to write one bestseller that will sell the good news to the people of the world. So if you're frequent, you write fluently, or if you speak very well, or you're a good dancer, you have a good voice, you sing very well, and all of that, it means that there's something in you that the Lord has put that you have to discover. And one of the ways in which you can discover whatever the Lord has put in you is through having a relationship with God. If you have a good relationship with God, if you connect with God, if you you pray, you dwell in His Word, you connect with God, you do the things that He wants you to do, you realize that, whatever is in you begins to come out so easily, and you don't have to put in so much effort. And usually when you're awakening the giant, I would say, for instance, in my case, um, if anybody had told me when I was growing up that I was going to be a lawyer, I'd have told you that, hey, that's far from it. Law wasn't one of the professions I considered as a child. I mean, there are people who will tell you that, okay, when I grow up, I want to become a lawyer. I want to be the defender of the innocent, the defender of the accused. I want to do corporate law. That was none of that applied to me. And at one point in time, I wanted to become a pilot. I wanted to become a doctor. I wanted to become, different things, essentially. I mean, the times when people tell me that, oh, we see that you be in politics. And I said, me, politics, forget it. It's not part of me. But God, when the purpose is in you and you begin to discover what the purpose is, no matter what you do, you find yourself doing things that lead you in that purpose. And that is the awakening of whatever is in you, whatever the giant is in you. And so that is my understanding and my explanation that I'll give, that to be able to awaken the giant, you've got to identify what your purpose is. You've got to find out why you are on this earth. And so the only person who can tell you why you are on this earth is God, the person who created you. I mean, if you have an iPhone, if you want to know how to certain function on an iPhone, you've got to read the manual of the iPhone to be able to know that this function does this, does that, and all of that. The creator of the commodity or the iPhone is the best person to tell you how to activate or use the iPhone. And the creator puts it in the manual. It's the same thing with God and us. To be able to achieve your purpose, that He has put in you, you've got to find out what or how or why He put that thing in you, and He's put it in the manual. His manual is the Bible.
All right, so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Whatever we I agree with it. Do you know that when you we have this mindset. When a child is born, we defend them. So let's say when I was a kid, I used to play football. It was really good. I played it maybe in high school. It goes to the point. They don't think soccer is
Mm-hmm.
So I need to quit and do. In the long run, I feel like so in this case, what would you do? You're a young person. You are feeling by yourself.
Yeah, so that is a very it's a very touchy area, especially for a lot of young Africans. And there's some standard sort of professions that parents want you to enter as a young person. You have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be an engineer. It's like the standard. If you're going to school, those are the things that you have to go to school to become. But I feel that there's a different trend happening these days, that parents have been able to, the parents have been able to understand that it's not necessarily being a doctor, engineer, or lawyer that will result in the success of a person. It may give them a profession, but the thing with having a profession is that if you're not passionate about the profession that you're in, you will not be as successful as you ought to be. These days, the world has changed so much that there's a lot of emphasis on creativity. And I'm sure you're a very talented footballer. You're great on the soccer field and everything. but I'm sure your parents are also concerned about career choices. I think that there has to be a fair balance. When parents identify, talent, they've got to help the child nurture it. The Bible, Paul and his adopted son Timothy, Paul continued to encourage Timothy to say, telling Timothy that he should stir up the gifts that the Lord has put in him. So it's one of the ways that we need to teach the Bible, for instance, to a lot of people, because if there's a deeper understanding of the Bible, they realize that parents do not need to dictate to children as to the career choices of the path, but they're supposed to encourage them to unearth their talents, to discover their purpose, and walk in that purpose. You have the people who have done, who have followed very unconventional, career paths or professions, who have ended up being very, very successful. If their parents were to stifle their gifts or talent, they would have, been shut down. They would have been, I don't want to use the word failure, because it's quite a strong word, but they wouldn't have gotten to where they got to. I'll give you a simple example. My little brother, the last born, our last born. I'm the first, and so he's the last. When he was in primary school, he struggled a little bit with his academics. That wasn't to say that he wasn't a good student. It's just that he had a passion for something else. He had, and it's years later that we've discovered that that was actually what led to he being interested in this. So, for instance, in academics, he wasn't so good, but he could tell you where everything in a house or in a place was. Once he enters a place and he sees things, he walks that way, he's able to tell you, oh, this was under this table, this was here, and everything. To the extent that when he moved to America, and they were trying to find things in the house, they had to call him and ask him, where is this thing? And he'd say that, oh, it's here, and it's there, and it's that, But it got to a point, and he was very good with computers. He loved computers. It got to a point where my father said that, okay, if you've identified your talent as, you love computers, why don't you just go to the university and study computers? So he moved from JSS, which is junior high school, straight to college. He skipped, high school, senior high school. So at 14 or 15 years, he was in college in the United States. And at that time, my father could have said that, what, you've got to go through the normal cycle, and maybe end up in, doing engineering or something. But he decided to take a chance because he knew that he had discovered his gift, he had discovered his potential, he discovered what his interest was. He took the chance, he went to college, and I'm proud to say that it paid off. He's one of the best data engineering scientists at, Comcast NBC Universal in New York. And the data, being able to his passion for data and the analysis of data in an age like this. My mother always said that he used to talk about big data and artificial intelligence like 10 years ago, and today that's a conversation that is being had, and this is his son talking about this some 10 years ago. So we need to get parents into the mindset of you having to encourage your child to enter if they have a passion or an interest in non-conventional career paths or professions. Who knew that 20 years ago, having a career as a social media advisor would earn you so much money? But they pay a lot of money, and the social media advisors are, people that work with data and analytics and how people spend their time on social media and all of that. But people pay money because that information is very critical for building businesses, for planning strategies, and all of that. So we've got to get, parents. There's a lot of education, but I think that also with a deeper understanding of the good news and biblical principles, parents will have a better appreciation of their role in terms of raising children, which is more of a guidance role. Because the Bible says that God has given children to us as a heritage, and if you've been given a heritage, you've got to guide and protect that heritage.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So now, it's all about you. Tell us where you come from. So we got to UK. Like, because your Facebook
It's by the grace of God. I don't think that my faith. I mean, people always have this impression about what I went through. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. My parents went through, yes, my parents went through really hard times, but both parents are educationists, and they set a certain standard for us, and they continue to set a standard for us. My father got his PhD after I graduated from university first degree, and my mother got her PhD.
Like your primary school?
I started at the age that everybody starts. That's 4 years, 4 years.
Yeah, where?
Oh, okay. I went to Morning Star School in Accra. It was a private school, and it wasn't. But like I said, my parents believe in sacrificing for education because they believe that it is the only way that you can set up your children for life. If they're educated and they have everything, they're better off in life. But if they're not educated and they spend their time just acquiring properties or money and giving you money, you squander it. You will not have a better appreciation of it. But because in Morning Star, for instance, my dad had a rickety car that used to drop us in school all the time. There are times that we got kicked out of school because we hadn't paid school fees, and my dad would say, you know what, I've paid and go, you go, and then they'll tell you you haven't paid, go out of class, sit in assembly. So those are parts of the stories that people don't hear. I mean, and my parents went a luxurious life to ensure that all of us were educated. I remember there was a time that I went to the US with my dad, and we just happened to be in the US at the same time, and then we ended up in a house of belonging to his friend. It was a big mansion. And the first thing he said to me is that, you know what, Cole, I can afford one of these mansions, but I live in Ghana in a very modest story building, and I'm spending my money making sure that all of you 4 boys are educated and have the best education in life, because that is all that I can give you. So the sacrifices that were made. I went to Morning Star. After Morning Star, I went to Prempeh College in Kumasi. I did general arts in Prempeh College. Then from Prempeh College, I went to the UK. So during my time, there was a 1-year wait before you go to university. So again, my parents thought that if you're going to wait for 1 year at home doing nothing, you might as well try and find something beneficial to do. So there was a course in the UK, it's a university access course in law that, my dad said, I should try it. And I tried it. I was successful, and then I went to University of Westminster to do my LLB. I graduated from the LLB with an upper second class honors, and then I joined Lincolnton, and then I went to BPP Law, and then I went to Cornell University, and then I took the New York Bar exam, and then I came to the Ghana School of Law, and the rest is history.
We said that, we wanted to know how your life was when you were young. All right, so have you ever regret this problem?
Have I what?
ever regrets?
Have I had any regrets?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I have. What I would say is that everything that happened for a reason. You know, nothing that happened, you know, was not meant to happen. Essentially, God takes you through things to shape you and to give you an experience. So if I go through certain things, it's because I'm supposed to use that experience to encourage someone in the future. So I wouldn't say that I've had regrets. I've had many lessons. I've learned a lot. There are things that happened that I thought could have happened better, but at the end of the day, it is the will of God that controls our lives, and that is what we have to live by.
All right. Just before you go, any advice for the young people who want to become like you?
The young people have to become better than me. They have to be better than me. They have to, because they're standing on something. They're standing on something that has already been done. And I pray for young people around the world all the time, and people that I come into contact with, that whatever they see that I've done, that they aspire to do, has to be much better than I am. If I was called to the bar in England and Wales, to the bar in New York, to the bar in Ghana with a master's in law, before the age of 25, then you have to do it before the age of 23, or 21. It's important that you build on what has already been done. Both of my parents are professors. That is a standard that has been set. So I have to become a professor and more than a professor. I don't know what is after being a professor, but maybe an emeritus. But I think that young people, you need to be focused, you need to be determined. If there's something that you feel the Lord wants you to do, you feel it's really what you're called to do, you have to be determined to achieve it. You have to work towards it. Life isn't where people have gotten to isn't by sheer luck. The favor of God is great, but the favor of God requires you to work hard. The favor of God requires you to put in the work. It requires you to put in the time. It requires you to ask questions. It requires you to seek wisdom. It requires you to read a lot. It requires you to seek for information that you do not have. So it's very important that young people don't necessarily think that, okay, because I see this person, he's done so well, and he's just been lucky. I mean, there are things that happened in my life. If I tell those stories, the time that I even got arrested and detained because of a mistaken identity. A mistaken identity. I got arrested and detained in New York. I was so frustrated. I was pissed, and this was on the night I was going to write the New York bar exam. Nobody will know about that part of the story, but they'll see that indeed he became a lawyer in New York, he's done all of this, and so on and so forth. But there are things that people go through. People don't tell the complete story, but there's so many hardships. During my ethics in the bar exam in England, the part that has to do with professional responsibility or ethics, I had a problem there. I failed one of the papers, and I used failed in quotes because I challenged it, and the only reason why they didn't pass me on that was because they had to withdraw the question, and thereby it lowered my mark. So I had to retake it by viva voce. But what it did was that it made me more conscious about ethics. It made me more conscious about professional responsibility. It made me more conscious about integrity. So it's very important that the parts of stories, success stories that are not told, but they actually have an effect in creating the success. you get what I'm saying? That's why I when you asked me about the regrets, I said I have none. Because they're all stepping stones or things that help you to reach the object. So I would ask them to be very focused. Whatever challenges comes your way, just pray to God and know that that is not the end of the story. The story will definitely end in your favor. God works things out together for the good for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. And if indeed you believe that you have a purpose within you, you believe that there's a giant within you that needs awakening, then you just got to pray to God and ask Him to continue to direct you, work hard, be determined, focus, and seek wisdom. And I can guarantee you that you'll be far more successful than I am.
All right. Before you go, before you were living in New York, and you went to Ghana. Ghanaians are leaving Ghana to UK.
Yeah, that's a big mistake. There's nothing in New York and London. Everything is in Ghana. I'm being serious. Like, everything really is in Ghana. I mean, I had the benefit of living in New York. I had the benefit of living in London. There's certain lifestyles and things that you get accustomed to, and you think that, if you move to Ghana, you'll not be able to get it. But I can tell you that these days, everything is in Ghana, and the more opportunities in Ghana. Whatever is in New York or London has already been done. In Ghana, we're now building our economy. We're now trying to have a very solidified or a very robust, system where people can do business and have a decent lifestyle and all of that. And that was one of the driving forces when I was moving back. That you're going to, whatever law that you're going to practice in the UK or the US, there's tons of precedents already. People have done them. But in Ghana, it has not been done. It's now being done. So it's either you're going to go back and ensure that your contribution is factored in when it's being done, or you stay here and continue to be in the shadows of all these white personalities who have gone ahead of you and done things, And I chose the former. I decided to come back to Ghana and work and contribute my quota to the development of our country. And don't get me wrong, there's so much that you get in terms of education and exposure in the Western world. But, staying there would not cause your country to develop. The Chinese went to America, they learned, and came back and implemented a capitalism that was better for their system, for their culture, that worked for their system. And China now, in a certain way, is kind of like, if I could say, communist capitalist. Ensuring that the state business makes a lot of money. The same thing with India. A lot of Indians move to the US, learns a lot about technology, learns a lot about how to run businesses and financial engineering and all of that. They all moved back to India and have built one of the biggest economies in India. India is now a tech hub in the world, and they have Mumbai is one of the biggest financial districts in the world. So, all these things, we go out there to learn, we get exposed to some of these best practices. It's important that we come back to Ghana and use that knowledge to ensure that to ensure that our country gets developed, that we can create that kind of society that we enjoy and we're exposed to outside, right here in our country. So I'll say that everything that you can do out there, you can definitely do in Ghana.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Tell the president we need him.
I'll pass on the message.
Yeah. And send our greetings too. To everyone.
Thank you too for the opportunity to speak to you and your audience.
All right. Thank you. And have a good night.
Thank you. And have a good night. Okay. Have a great Sunday.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So, guys, we have Paul here. He said a lot. It's up to you what you want to accept. What's your story? That will be the question. What's your story? What have you taken from what he said? Because if you look at the whole scene, what he's saying is that in the West, they've developed already. But when you go to Africa or you go to Ghana, whatever you learn from the West, you can take it to that place and succeed, because we are developing. So you can have big impact in the country. But as I was saying, the giant in you, it's only you who can wake it up. Nobody on this planet have the power to awake the giant inside you. People may see you, they may see you and go to you and tell you, oh, you know, I can see that you are doing this. It's better if you do it this way, and coach you around. But if you decide not to bring the giant up, it's your song. And so, before I end tonight, let me tell you this. A young guy who was with the grandfather wanted to find out how life is all about, what is inside us. And his dad said, there's two animals inside you. There's the lion and there's a sheep. And so, the one that you feed more will grow up to overtake you, to become who you are. And so the sheep is the negative side of life. And so the more you think negative, you are feeding the sheep. And the lion is training. So the lion is dying. But if you think more positive, if you think life is good, every day is the best day of your life, and you know there's good things out there for you. People are good. You know, some of us think that if somebody does something wrong to us, it means the entire humanity is bad people. No. If one person does something wrong, it doesn't mean everyone is wrong. If one family member does something wrong, it doesn't mean all the family members are wrong people or they are bad people. If one family member does something good to you, it doesn't mean all the family members are good people. You know, that's why sometimes you get a shock that, oh, I couldn't believe this person would have done this. He's a human being. Human beings, we full of surprises. And so, if somebody does something good or bad to you, don't conclude that all black people are bad people, all white people are good people. You haven't seen any of them. Probably in your life, you've seen one or two. So, the lion in you needs to be fed with positive vibration. You know, you need to read good books. There's good books out there. Personal development books out there. Read those books and become somebody. Have a vision. Have a mission to succeed in life. Be hungry to be successful. If you're not hungry, you don't eat food. So if you're not hungry to succeed, you will never succeed. You will never. And you must be willing to sacrifice something. You must be willing to sacrifice. Sacrifice something. You can sacrifice your sleep, sacrifice the things that you watch on TV, too much time spending on TV. All these things need to be sacrificed to become successful. Don't always look at the glory of people. Look at where they're coming from. You know, KOW said this. Sometimes they used to sack them from school for not paying school fees. I've gone through that several times.
I've gone through that several times. Sometimes they even sack you and you go and hide. You go and hide. When the teacher leaves the classroom, you go back to the class. And they'll come and kick you out again and you go back again. Not because you want to stay in school. You don't want to miss a class. And you know, some of the teachers, they are so bad that, not in the bad way, but they're so smart that the day that they will kick out people who haven't paid their school fees, that's the day they're going to teach what is going to come in the exams or what is going to happen in the class days. So if you miss that time, you miss everything. So most of the time you need to run and hide yourself and go back again. You know, he's gone through all this and he's been one of the successful guys I've been following for a while now. And so he didn't just started to be on that shoes. Somebody looked into him and he himself decided to be somebody. And so what have you decided to be? You know, your parents where they live now, it's them though. So don't let your environment where you grew up from affect your personality, affect your future. Or because, oh no, you know what, I was born in a Fiekuma Takrade. So if I was born in a Fiekuma and the Fiekuma hasn't developed, why would I develop? The mistake is that if Fiekuma is for a Fiekuma, like, you know, your parents lives there. It's not you who need to grow up and live in where your parents live. Like a call. He went to New York, he studied in New York and UK. Ask him if his parent did the same thing. Probably not. So it doesn't mean that if your parents are poor, you need to grow up to be poor. What I'm trying to get into this beautiful head of yours is that if your parents are poor, you need to become successful. As Bill Gates said, it's not a crime or it's not your mistake to be born poor, but it will be the worst and the biggest mistake ever that you've done to die poor. There's greatness inside each and every one that can make you successful. Everyone. Even when you're a child, you want to be a soccer player like me. I decided to be a soccer player. And in the long run, my dream got shot. I still got another dream, being an author, like, you know, having 4 books out there, being a speaker, being a coach, being a motivational speaker, being live on you. It's been another dream. The people that I've met, the people that I've spoke with. It's like being a soccer player. So I don't even regret not playing my soccer. I'm so happy that I got another option. Probably this is the best option for me. To go out there and tell people that there's greatness inside them. They can become powerful than what they think. And you are. I salute you, Nana Kwame. Thank you for taking the opportunity to be on board. He's my boss though. And Coach Paha, thank you. Thanks everyone for listening. You know what? Share this video. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Next week on LxP, we're going to have Nana Kuntihine. Next week, hopefully. Next week, we're going to have Nana Kuntihine. I know you may say, who is that? I will post his details and I will share his page. Go there and read more about him. He's done a lot in terms of music and his own personal life as well. So LxP has come to stay. LxP Australia is going out there, reaching out to people who have become successful or who have made it in life from their background that you can make it. It doesn't matter where you start from. The whole story is that the conclusion of the matter is that you have become successful. That's the most important thing. That's why I have waken up early this morning to be on LxP live Facebook in Australia to tell you that the greatness inside you can make you successful. God bless you. Have a wonderful time and share this video. Tell a friend and tell another friend. Until we meet again, God bless you. Have a good night. When you leave outside Australia and New Zealand, have a good night and have a wonderful time and a wonderful week. Until I come back again, God bless you. I salute you. Have a wonderful day. But don't forget to pursue your vision with a mission, and we join it with an action, and we go straight to the kingdom of success, a place where opportunities are unlimited, a place where good health, happiness, love, success, prosperity, peace of mind, and a whole lot of money shall never be your problem. God bless you. Thank you.